So many legal questions as well today. So we have Misty Marris standing by. Talk travel ban in the moment, Misty. I want to show the latest, I can't even follow this stuff, tweet from Elon Musk. I mean, maybe you'll have a comment on this, who knows. It relates to Jeffrey Epstein, of all people. This is Elon Musk moments ago. Time to drop the really big bomb, Donald Trump. Is in the Epstein files. That's the real reason they've not been made public. Have a nice day.
Okay.
Have a nice day, he said. That's how he ended it. We'll pop it up. I'm just looking at these things coming in. You don't have to comment on it.
Yeah, well, listen, we've heard for a long time that there's more that's in the government's possession about Epstein. We've, to date, not seen anything really, nothing of note. Everything we've seen is basically what we saw in court filings previously. So I don't know what Elon Musk knows. He had better security clearance than me. I'm just looking at the federal docket.
It's been some day, right? Trying to keep up with these guys. Keep up with these guys. Quick things. We were just talking to Governor Walker. So travel ban. Any legal questions, restrictions, problems, challenges?
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a lot going on with the travel ban from a legal perspective. First, we saw this right back in 2017, and it looks like the administration looked at what happened in 2017 with that executive order and the legal challenges that came and tried to plug up some of those holes and tried to address some of those legal issues and come out with this particular order in a different way. So some of the areas that they hit first, it's not a majority Muslim countries only. So that was an issue with respect to discrimination laws, that you're discriminating against these countries on the basis of religion. It's a different mix. Also, that there's an exemption for green card holders. So that was a 14th Amendment issue, that there were protections, constitutional protections, that could have been at issue. That was in the first travel ban. Now we're seeing it drafted a bit differently. And also notice, I think we might have been covering this back in 2017 when all the airports, remember the chaos that happened at the border and the airports. Here there's a bit of notice that is being given. This doesn't go into effect until next week. So those are areas where there were particular legal vulnerabilities to the 2017 iteration. Some of that was challenged in 2019. A different iteration came out, and now we're seeing the administration get ahead of that a bit. So what I'm looking for, the justification is national security. Of course, the executive branch there's a lot of deference to the executive branch over national security and the interests. But the other piece of it is visa overstays. Remember, a lot of these countries are being identified in the ban as there's a large percentage of visa overstays in the United States, and that's why we're saying that there's going to be more limitations. So that's a bit of a novel issue. So I'm interested to see. I'm sure we'll see injunctions. Other issues, which courts are they going to? Federal district courts, immigration courts, might depend on the nature of the challenge. But all of these issues that we've covered, a lot of the executive orders are really interlinked. So certainly more novel challenges to come.
Interesting, but the lessons learned part of it is interesting from the first time around. Okay, one other story, Diddy. We haven't followed this trial on a second-by-second basis like we did when it began.
Or like I have.
Or like, that's exactly my point. So you've kind of hightailed it up to our 42nd Street studios here in New York from Lower Manhattan. You were in the court today.
Yes.
And the reason we want to talk about it today is that things got very interesting. What happened with Diddy and the judge today? You were there.
Yes, absolutely. So the judge admonished the defense. And this is outside the presence of the jury. So the jury goes to lunch, and this is when prosecutors and defense basically go through the scope of evidence and whatnot, evidentiary issues. And the judge said to the defense team, was I not clear? Diddy is not to make eye contact, is not to engage with jurors. So the judge said that he saw at least 2 times during cross-examination today that Diddy was looking at jurors and emphatically nodding and gave a warning, because this is something that could be influencing the jurors, intimidating the jurors. That's off limits. And the judge said, we didn't know this from the perspective of covering the case. The judge had already warned the defense team during prior testimony because he saw the same conduct. So there's a federal rule about this, and the rule says that if a defendant is disruptive in the courtroom, and specifically when it comes to that type of engagement with the jury, something that could influence the trial, that one of the things that can happen is the defendant could be kicked out of the courtroom for the rest of the trial.
Wow.
And that is
did the judge threaten to do that?
Yes, the judge did threaten to do that. He said if this persists, that is a remedy that I'm looking at. And keep in mind, Connell, that's the most severe remedy, because every defendant has the right to face their accusers, constitutional right. So there has to be a real good reason to take them out of the courtroom. It could create an appellate issue. Judge doesn't want to have to do that, but to the extent that there's engagement that he sees between Combs at that defense table and looking at jurors, that's a huge problem, and you could see a very severe consequence. And for the defense perspective, You don't want your client to be out of the courtroom for their trial. The jury's going to look at that and think that take an adverse inference.
Yeah.
So it's really problematic.
Well, add that to our list. What a day today. I should check my computer, see if we got any more.
Sure, you got something new coming
Elon Musk tweets or anything for you. Thanks for playing around with us on all these topics. You're always covering it and doing the best you can to roll with the punches.
Thanks, Connell.
You're the best. Misty Marris. All right.